Greetings!
Hi.
You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen, and I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Okay.
And we are here to show you what we got. We got a pile of stuff. Lots of stuff.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Who wants to go first this time?
No, I went first last week. You can go ahead.
Alright, I don't remember last week. I don't remember anything.
Well, last week was, well, you should be able to remember since
Last
this
week
is a
was-
direct response to last week.
Okay, last week was bootleg week. And in the mail, today, I got a response to that. As most of you should remember, those of you who are keeping up with the channel, kudos to you, by the way. I was talking about bootlegs, and there was one category which I found less forgivable, which was stuff that's out. So, part of this is going to be me dumping part of my collection. And I'll show you 3 titles, only one this time, at a time, where you'll see this. And the first of this title is 20th Century Boys, Beginning of the End. Now, I didn't talk a lot about the individual titles last time, more about the bootleg of the titles and why I got the bootleg. And this, I admit, I picked up the first movie at a store. It was like this martial artsy store, and they had some bootlegs, some not bootlegs. I didn't realize that this was a bootleg. But this one, you can tell this is not a bootleg. It's got Viz pictures on it. You actually have the Region 1, and the disc actually has the Viz pictures on it as well. Now, this is a trilogy, and the other 2 in the trilogy, by the way, are Region 1. And it is a very good series. It's sort of like, it's a sort of a sci-fi futuristic one about this group, dystopian future type. This really defines most of the characters, and it gets really dark really fast. I don't know what it was, but other than this thing here, this guy, because I thought this was pretty cool looking. You know, the guy with the thing. And so I said, this sounds pretty cool. And I read the manga, which was also really good.
And it's a pretty well-regarded manga from what I remember.
Yeah, and it is an excellent series. I was not displeased with it. I'm glad to finally have this. This is out of print, unfortunately. But I have a copy. I will be watching it shortly to make sure that it works out okay, but there's no scratches on the disc. Even though this is a little bit dirty, that can be cleaned up. Disc, however, harder to replace.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Well, my first one, as a matter of fact, is sort of a response not to our video last week, but to after video activity. I was given a copy of something that I figure I will go ahead and present on here. I have mentioned before that I'm striving for consistency with my TV. And once it starts on Blu-ray, I really hate to mix it up with DVD. But, on the other hand, free copy of 2nd season of Arrow, kind of hard to say no to that. Yeah. And if nothing else, I can use it as a placeholder until I do get the Blu-ray. But it will also help me finally watch the show and not have to wait until I get season 2. So that'll be kind of cool. I do have the first 3 seasons now. It is a show I really do want to get into. I've seen bits and pieces. I believe the first 2 seasons. I don't think I've seen anything more recent than that.
Most people think it went downhill after season 2, but I personally, I really liked it. I think when a series becomes more comic booky, people tend to go like, yeah. But me...
Sometimes it works.
Yeah, I actually thought it worked fairly well with this. The, what was it? Reish or Ras Al Ghul? I can't remember.
Reish Al Ghul, I guess it depends. Everyone uses a different...
But that storyline, people kind of dump on it, but I really liked the guy who played him, and I thought they really did an excellent job with it.
I do want to see this, because Reish is one of my favorite characters. He's a really interesting character. And his portrayal, I think he only made a couple of appearances in the animated series. He did a fine job there. Mm-hmm. His portrayal in the movies was very interesting. His portrayal on Gotham was very interesting. So it'd be interesting to see yet another version.
Oh, yeah.
I've not yet seen one that I thought was entirely wrong to the character. But this is obviously not the one with Raish in it, but it does have a lot of good people in it. And I do look forward to hopefully finally launching into this one soon.
So now for my next entry. So, again, we're talking about some out-of-print, but not terribly out-of-print stuff. And that's this series here, the Oni Umbara series. You can see that's a definite difference on what I showed last week. Region 1. It came in a broken case, so I replaced it with a lot of the cases I have, but it is... But the disc looks good. I got the game originally that this is based off of, and the game was fun. It's just, killing a bunch of zombies in bikinis, and, you look at the hot girls killing zombies.
Or hot girls in bikinis killing zombies, right? Yeah. It's not that the zombies are in bikinis, because that would not be appealing.
Probably wouldn't be as good. But also, this one actually still is in print, which is the sequel, Vortex. Again, Region 1. I got this one from Right Stuff, which still has it. Had a good deal on it. They do still have the Blu-ray of this. I just did not want to pay for the Blu-ray. They wanted $30 for the Blu-ray.
Oh my!
I did not want to pay $30. I found this used $10.
Okay.
I paid $10. So now those three are correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That is correct.
Correct.
And I found this used for one. So basically, this is from this is a library pickup. It's an HBO miniseries called Empire Falls, and it is kind of a neat little book type cover. It looks a little beat up, so it would have been nice to get it new. You see how the cover does that little thing there. It's kind of sad. But still, it looks good.
For $1, yeah.
Yeah, for $1. But this is... I seem to remember this being a well-regarded series. I think it had like some Golden Globe and Emmy nods. But, I mean, listen to the cast. Ed Harris, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Helen Hunt, Paul Newman, Robin Wright, Aidan Quinn, and Joanne Woodward.
A quick look at it.
Yeah. So it's like a small town kind of... I honestly don't know much about it. But again, it's well regarded, and with that cast, how could you really go wrong?
What's that? Like a little booklet maybe would go in here in the center?
Maybe.
I mean, not like kind of attached because it doesn't seem that, but you might have to put like a little one there. It might stretch it out a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
It's still in tolerably good shape.
Yeah.
But, the HBO is good at putting out sets that look really nice.
Yeah.
And again, they're really good at producing television. I've enjoyed a lot of the HBO shows I've seen. And I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Mm-hmm. It's one I may never have gotten to otherwise, but again, with that cast, I'm pretty happy with that pickup. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So, one that I've been wanting to get for a while, that is, sort of wanting to get for a while. Because I actually love the Lego movie series so far. Lego Movie was awesome. Mm-hmm. Lego Batman was awesome. And this one I was kind of about. But
Lego Movie's awesome.
Exactly. But I found Lego Ninjago movie. And I found it for $10.
Oh, no.
So for $10 I said, okay, I will do it for 10.
Yeah.
But because this is... They do have the ninja movies that are the cheap ones made for little kids.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, do I have to get this because it's just attached to that crap? What's the next one going to be, So I've been kind of iffy about it. Mm-hmm. But it's made by the same people.
Yeah.
who made the good movies, not necessarily the people that made the crap.
And if I remember, it's a similarly high wattage cast.
I mean, so it was supposedly well done.
Yeah.
It kind of came and went in theaters, but I am interested in how this turns out.
Mm-hmm.
If any of y'all actually watch the other Lego, like the big movie Lego stuff that was the Ninjago stuff, tell me in the comments, how good was it? Was it worth buying? Mm-hmm. Is it worth actually getting a hold of and getting into? Or is it just kind of a cheap child cartoon that is kind of not
well, they are aimed at kids, but they're very popular with the kids. They
are very popular.
They love those movies. Now, I will say, these people, again, I've said before, they risk oversaturation with these movies. Yeah. 2 of them in 1 year may have been a little much. But I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I'm waiting for the Connect movie.
The which?
The Connect movie.
Okay. Sounds good. I do want to see that one. All right.
Me too.
So my last ones, kind of like my first one, are all callbacks to other series I've touched on before here. A couple weeks ago, you saw I presented the new release, the only new-ish release so far from the Urusei Yatsura franchise. A couple weeks ago, I finally gave in. I had a very strict rule for a long time. No more than $8 a volume for the individual volumes. I'm going to have to throw that by the wayside at this point because I've probably gotten every volume I can at that price.
I was going to say, you're getting to that point where as the time goes on, the out of print goes further away.
I'll probably never finish it unless they re-release it. But one I wanted to make absolutely sure I got is volume 17. I finally got it for 15. And the reason why is volume 17 is the introduction of my favorite character in the series, Ryunosuke Fujinami, and her horrible rat bastard father. And if you've ever seen the show, those two are definitely a trip. And they are the direct forerunners of Ranma and Genma Saotome. And also, in a way, Ryunosuke's kind of also a forerunner to Ukyo Kawonji, who's my favorite character. But basically, the gist of it is Ryunosuke is a girl whose father has raised her to be the manliest of men. And he's such a delusional idiot that he cannot... He truly is delusional. And she, of course, fights back. Her catchphrase is like, Ore wa oneta! It's basically, I'm a girl. But she says it like a guy because that's the way she was raised. It's just really fun. So I wanted to make sure I had that volume. But in general, it's a fun show. It is an overly long show that, again, is hard as hell to get. He lucked out.
Oh, yeah.
Still paid a pretty penny.
Oh,
but,
yeah. It was like $400 or something like that for the whole.
But 50 of these volumes.
Yeah. And then you add on top of that, I got the 6 movies and the
So, it's 50 TV volumes, 6 movies, and 6 OVAs, right?
So
that was a good deal for him.
Less than $10 a volume.
Yeah, so hopefully Discotek won't just stop with the one movie. They'll actually come back to the show. Or maybe they'll put up a Kickstarter and see if people, I'll fund the Kickstarter if they do that. But in the meantime, I'm slowly working my way through. I think I have about 28 or 29 of these volumes. So, and the OVAs and I think 2 of the movies. So, it's alright. It's getting there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But hey, you will one day. You'll get the final volume.
Yes.
And then they'll re-release it all on Blu-ray for $30.
Bastards. If you can get the whole thing on Blu-ray for $30, I don't give a damn how much I've spent. I'm getting it.
So, I thought I've got some decent stuff here. I've got some trashy stuff. So I thought I'd bring something ultra trashy. into this mix. I got stuff on a full moon sale a while back, and as Kotobuki Jake has been doing, we've been working our way through certain sales. And this one is, well, it just speaks to me. Sometimes I look at something and I say, this is so wrong. I have to have it in my collection. And that is Yuga Booga.
Yuga Booga.
Yes. Beyond Django. I originally saw Yuga Booga in Evil Bong. He made a guest appearance there. And a lot of these dolls in these series, they tend to cross. Except for Puppet Master. You don't see as many of the Puppet Masters crossing into Full Moon titles, except for like stuff that they were meant to be in, like Demonic Toy versus Puppet Master, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some of these, like this one here and Ginger Dead Man, they kind of just go everywhere. And with the upcoming Evil Bong 777, which will be out soon, and I will bring that news and the upcoming releases in the news later this week.
Nice.
But, you know, basically, this guy's soul is transferred into the back of an action figure named Yuga Booga. Armed only with his tribal weapon and the help of his old girlfriend Donna, Yuga Booga takes to the streets and trailer parks to find the men who stole his bright future away from him. The bodies begin to pile up as Yuga Booga slices and dices his way through the crooked cops, meth heads, and demented city officials in order to clear his name. Racists beware, you won't have enough time to scream Yuga Booga.
Wow.
You can see why I said this is so wrong on many levels.
Yeah.
Alright.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Yours is slightly better quality than mine.
Only slightly. So, again, as he said, we are working slowly but surely through the various sales that we have participated in the last few months. And my last couple are from Right Stuff's holiday sale. And I had presented the first half of this series and the movie a good while back. As I said, Funimation did a pretty awesome flash sale on Amazon. This one I ended up paying more for, but Right Stuff's price was still pretty good. I think it was $20. But I got the second half of Ghost in the Shell Arise.
Hey, it's a whole series now.
Yes, I now have the whole thing, both halves and the movie, and it ended up only costing $45, which, given the usual street price for these, that's not that bad.
I don't even know what I paid for mine. It's been so long.
But I am very happy to have this, and I've actually, in my viewing, I've finally gotten into the second half of Standalone Complex, which we'll talk about a little bit in the news, but I'll definitely have to prioritize this one not long after, while the other one's still fresh in my mind, just for, comparative interest or whatnot. As I think I said before, I have seen the movie, which is a direct sequel to this series, but I've never seen the series itself. So I look forward to watching the series and then rewatching the movie at the end of it. So, but it's a pretty good movie. And this is a very different take on the franchise from what we knew before, but very interesting.
The old Ghost in the Shell. Well, I need to see a lot of it. I've seen Standalone Complex. I've seen Standalone Complex 2. I've seen the movie for Standalone Complex.
I lose track how many movies there are for that franchise. I think there's
confusing.
3, aren't there?
Yeah, it gets
I've
confusing.
seen The Laughing Man.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Individual 11. And I feel like there's 1 or 2 more.
I know I've got the majority of them sitting in my set somewhere. And the G's are...
And of course we've seen the original Mamoru Oshii
I never saw
Ghost
that
in
one.
the Shell
I don't even
movies.
know what that's about. That's just...
Yes.
But, one of these days I'll just bring up my whole Ghost in the Shell collection. Just throw it out there. Well, not throw it.
Yeah, probably don't want to throw it.
So, this is going to be something strange, but yet quality at the same time.
Strange, or is it bizarre?
So, tax time. Everybody talks about getting your tax refund. I actually did get a tax refund this year. I'm not getting a lot from what I've got because it's got to go towards stuff like what we've got around us. Not the collection, but the actual house itself. But I said, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet and finally get JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, especially since I found out they were releasing everything. They have Season 2's release date up. So I went ahead and paid for this one and Season 2 at the limited edition because they were priced the same as the standard editions.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm like, so I could just... So, what, I'm going to pay the same amount for the standard? No. And these have some... It comes with this, like, scarf right here, which I'm sure has significance to the series. Right. I'll admit, this is one that I just wanted to get in touch with. I've heard of this one a long time ago. Right. But it's just recently started gaining a lot of popularity, which is
is it the
weird.
Third season that was, like, super popular that people were saying was a great, great series? There was one recent one that they were really getting into.
So, but this one's a pretty nice set. Yeah. I mean, you can see it's got this fold-out thing on it. You feel the heft on that?
Well, yeah. What was this? What was the price on that?
It was closer to $60.
Okay.
That
is a really neat set, though.
It's actually a rare thing for me to have a Viz collector's set because I don't do a lot of...
Is it Viz or Funny?
It is Viz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a rare thing. Viz doesn't release a ton of collector's editions. No. So this is actually a cool...
But when they do, they do. And actually, I'm going to be showing a Viz collector's edition in just a moment here.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So...
I have a ton of those collector's editions.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a ton of them. So I don't remember if I presented the first part of this in my pickups. I think I actually had it before we started doing pickups. But as we mentioned last week, this is also a callback to last week because of some of the bootlegs that he was showing off. Yep. But I unfortunately do not have the budget to be paying anywhere close to retail price for the various parts of
they run
the
like 70
Sailor Moon franchise. Yeah. However, I did pre-order when Viz first announced that they were going to put out Sailor Moon. I did pre-order that first limited edition set on principle. I wanted them to not chicken out. I wanted them to know, yes, you need to go forward with this, partly because Stars never got an American release, but also partly because most of it was prohibitively expensive. I happen to have the Rose, the Name of the Rose or whatever it is, the movie for R. I lucked out the Pioneer release. I found it at a local movie store for $4.50 when it was going for $200 online.
Thank goodness.
So that was pretty awesome. But that was all I had. And up until that, honestly, my only experience, I was hoping we could play a snippet, but due to rights issues and whatnot, we weren't able to get a hold. I wanted to play the snippet of 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies where they make a reference. Got to get in tune with Sailor Moon. That cartoon got the boon. Anime babes make me think the wrong thing. You know, I love that song. I always have. And I like that line. That was my experience with Sailor Moon in the 90s. I didn't get to watch the show in the 90s, which is really weird for our generation. Yes, I know. And
I didn't know what I was watching in the 90s.
Later on, I got to see little bits and pieces, and I read about it, and I knew about it, you know. But watching that movie, that was the first part of the franchise I ever got to watch. And he finally started showing me the show, and we got through the first 2 series, the first one and R. And that's really it. So I've been really wanting to actually get some...
It really gets good after you get to S and Super S.
But I did get that limited edition set 1 for pretty much whatever the pre-order price was. It was like $65 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But last year, for their sale, Right Stuff did a few sets, not all of them, but a few of them, on pretty good prices, pretty affordable prices. So I got the second half of the first series, along with the art cards that came as a bonus.
They really don't do very limited sets for the second halves.
These sets,
Because of
they're
that,
the kind of set where they come with one, and you're supposed to insert the second part into it later on.
Yeah.
But so I have that first one. So now I have the second insert part.
Like any of us are going to do that.
I have the. Well, I will eventually. I do keep that other part, but I will put it together.
And so you don't have to open yours right away.
Right.
Because, I mean, it comes with this, but it has, like, whatever the little item is.
Oh, the little art cards are in there?
And,
oh, yeah, that does make it difficult.
Then it has, like, the
booklet.
The little booklet that comes...
Which is kind of cool
I'm
that they
showing
come
you,
with a
but I'm not
booklet.
showing anybody in the audience.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can hear the thing that... Oh.
And this is the booklet he's talking about. This is the first series. But
I'd have to throw that away, and I don't want to throw that.
You don't have to throw it away. You just have to figure out where to put it.
Yeah.
You can maybe. But anyway, so we've got. That's the first one is now complete. I now have the first series complete. But the second part of it was these were I think like 33. I think this was like 33, and then I think these were like 30 each. I couldn't believe it really. They had R and S. The limited edition collections for the first set. And they were probably like 33, 34, something like that. But, so now I have the first half each of the second two seasons. I do really, really want to finish these, if like nothing else. If I can actually finish R, I could start watching what I have and get further than I've ever gotten with the first half of S. But this is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Right Stuff currently has pre-orders up for Super S, and I could be wrong, but it looked like it was just one set. Is that right?
They don't say a part one, but there's only like 13 episodes on it.
So maybe Super S actually could be a single episode or single volume. And if that's the case, that will save me a lot of money.
Sailor Stars is going to be the next one.
Yeah.
Actually, though, they've only released R as far as the movies are concerned.
Yeah.
So they still have S and Super S, the movie.
I think they're dragging their feet a bit on the movies, but and again, I'm probably going to keep that Pioneer release for a long time, but I may still try to get hold of the movies as I can. But still, it is nice to know that I'm making some headway finally with the franchise. And
the 3 movies of
the... you got the old release too, huh?
Yeah, these are the old releases.
Yeah. This is the one that I
have. That's R, right?
Yeah.
They also have... I have not looked at their...
And actually, it's not a bad release either.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
the re-release of it.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that. And again, it's not that I don't want to be supportive of the franchise. It's just it's expensive to buy them as they come out, and that's true of anything Viz. I get it. They're nowhere near Aniplex. Aniplex is our punching bag for a reason. Viz is much more reasonably priced than Aniplex.
This is not average.
But they're still Viz and Sentai are more expensive than Funimation on average, and with my budget, I have to go for sales as much as possible. And Viz has a bad habit of splitting things from the get-go. Mm-hmm. Sentai's hit or miss. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And
it's the 33 volumes of freaking Naruto.
And
it's still like almost 10 more before it gets to the end of the series.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm nowhere near full on Shippuden.
Well,
all right.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
Please comment if there was anything that you thought was really cool, and if there's other cool things that you picked up, let us know. Mm-hmm. But of course, as always, like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.